couple things. Again, I really apologize everyone for being late. I don't like doing that, so I'll have myself run line drills for that. I'm going to lose my team. Can't take myself out of the starting lineup, but I can do line drills, so I apologize. Regarding Wesley Witherspoon, he had hurt his knee in the Northwestern State game, and it had been bothering him. After that game, we had started sitting him out after practices, really not letting him practice, or became very limited. The last 2.5 weeks, close to 3 weeks, we really just sat him out of practice, or he would try to do warm-ups and stretches, and then anytime we got the contact, we just sit him out. Even in game day shoot-arounds, we didn't let him shoot around because his knee was really, really sore, and it was hard for him to make cuts, and we were just trying to manage it and see what we could do to be able to prolong, get ready for game time. After New York, because it was bothering so much, we got the MRI again. We had a previous MRI 2 weeks ago. It didn't show anything. Had another MRI just when we got back from New York, and that's where we saw the tear. There's the flap. There's some flap of the bone on the knee. So they had the orthoscopic surgery today to shave that part off, and so he will be out, like I said, probably around 5 weeks. And after the rehab, there's some other things. Again, with the soreness of the knee that we'll see that will take some time. I know some people say, well, they've had that surgery before where they just shaved part of the bone off, and then you come back in a soon time. But there's some other things there as well that will just take a little bit longer than just a quick time. But it is very minor, and because of his lack of, as I've said it, his lack of practice time and game day and working on his game, he is not the type of player, as rarely anybody can do it, where you can just show up and produce and be at a high level without practicing. And you saw his first 5 games, he was really, really good. And I just think the last 3, and since no practice time and no rhythm, no anything like that, it caught up to him. So we'll pray for him. We'll wish him the best. He will, again, like I said, he'll be back in no time. This is very minor. It's very normal. And we'll get him back for our stretch run. And in the meantime, other guys got to step up, which we will count on them to do so, and we'll go from there.
The first MRI after the Northwestern State game didn't show anything?
Yeah, again, I don't want to talk out of context because that's really up to Dr. Phillips and Brad Anderson and the medical staff, and they didn't see really anything that would cause, from where it was. And what happened was the more he kept even just playing on it in games, it just eventually, that's where it just kept getting sore. The soreness kept, getting more irritated. His knee was getting irritated, and the soreness was becoming a little bit stronger. We were doing all different things to manage it, to be able to, with all the treatment and everything and the corrective exercises. It just happens to be, it got to a point where he was really, really struggling on it. And that's when the MRI, they could see there's a little piece the flap came up on it, and that was just from probably within the last 2.5 weeks, and maybe in the Northwestern State. After that, it was there, but it hadn't flapped up. It was still there, and it just maybe an extra because of the usage, it just finally came up.
And then yesterday, you make the final decision.
We met last night, Wesley and his entire family. Wesley and his mom and dad, and we met along with they talked to the doctor, along with our trainer Brad Anderson, and we all agreed if we were going to get the surgery, that we might as well do it now, before in the middle of the year. Let's get it done with now. And that way we can move forward with the season, and he can get back, and when he gets back, he'll be full strength and 100%, and no more soreness in his knee.
Which kind of leads me to the question of his mental state. I mean, he's accepted this. I know he's a high-powered, high-energy guy. It's probably rough for him to sit back.
Well, you know what? I think it was hard for him. I'll be honest with you. I think it was something that if you've even followed some of his Twitters, when some of the things previously where he was talking about some of his news and this and that, because again, I mean, he has aspirations to play professionally, and you want to be able to play. I mean, he's a competitor. No one wants to sit. So anytime there's anything where you have to have needles, shots, or have surgery when it's nothing that's just a procedure that's normal in an everyday routine, that's not good for anybody. Nobody likes that. The positive news is that this is very minor, and doesn't have anything for long term. I mean, this is very minor throughout the NBA. I mean, you see a lot of these guys having, a lot of them, they catch it in the off season and they do it and they're out for a couple weeks, and then they come back and you're good to go. And that's the same thing with Wesley. So there's no prolonged effects. I mean, the only thing is he just will miss a few weeks with us, and then when he gets back, he will be back to how he was feeling prior to his knee when there was no soreness, and as we saw how he was playing when he was able to practice and not having that pain.